Brian was right, but she was ashamed to admit that it was because she'd had a childish argument with Isaiah Pino, her current boyfriend, and she knew it would tick him off that she went and hung out with Brian and his friends. Also, and she hated to admit this too, some of her friends, Jennifer included, thought she was acting stuck up and too good for them since she started dating Isaiah. He was a sophomore at Eastern New Mexico University in Ruidoso, worked a steady job every summer, at the Black Horse no less, and he was a good student, working on a scholarship and hoping to go to med school. And he was serious about Krista. Maybe too serious. She had liked that he seemed more mature than most young men who only cared about having fun and not making future plans. But he actually mentioned the word engaged, as in, we'll get engaged after you graduate. That was only about 10 days away, but she wasn't sure she was ready for that just yet. Isaiah still had 2 more years of college, which he would be completing in Las Cruces at New Mexico State, then grad school and med school. She still didn't know what she was going to do after she walked across the stage and got her diploma. "Krista!" she gasped, jolted out of her thoughts. Brian was scowling at her. "So are you coming in or not?" I, she stuttered, backing away. Brian's brows knit together, and his handsome features melted into rage for a split second. Then he smiled. "Don't make me throw you in." Chapter 1, 12 hours earlier. Corrie Black paused outside the gate leading to the pool area and smiled. For the last 5 years, she had been hosting a pool party for her employees and a select group of friends to usher in the summer season. It was always on a Wednesday, a day she had found had always been very slow in the campground business, and she didn't take reservations for this one day, leaving the pool and patio area free for her friends to have a day-long party and relax. Across the patio, Rick Sutton. He wasn't Sheriff Rick Sutton when dressed down in his swim trunks and t-shirt, although he still managed to look as breathtaking as he did in his official uniform. Manned the grill, like he usually did, flipping burgers. Even on the regular Sunday evening steak cookout nights that the Black Horse hosted, he manned the grill, although his affiliation with the campground was simply as a friend, not an employee or as a law enforcement official. Corrie didn't want to be reminded about the last time he was officially affiliated with the Black Horse. A few weeks earlier, one of her longtime guests ended up dead, the victim of a murder committed by his own wife. Corrie shivered at the memory. Despite the warm, late spring afternoon, she fervently hoped that the incident would be the last time Rick would ever have to set foot on the property in his official capacity. She didn't count his daily morning visits, usually bearing a box of home-baked sweets of some kind. "You still planning on girls' night at my place tonight?" Shelley Davenport, Corrie's best friend since childhood, and one of her weekend employees, came up behind her from the direction of the parking lot. Her 3 children were in tow, grinning with delight at being able to skip the last 3 hours of school for the pool party, and they stopped briefly to give their aunt, Corrie, a quick hug and greeting before making a dash for the pool. "Mark! Naomi! Keep an eye on Bart!" Shelley called to her 12-year-old and her 10-year-old as she deftly stooped to slip off her 8-year-old's glasses. Corrie waited to answer until Shelley had seen her trio into the pool. "If it won't be too late. This party won't wrap up till after 7, maybe 8 tonight. Then the cleanup." Shelley shook her head, her unruly strawberry blonde curls bouncing loose from the scrunchie that held them back from her face. She reached up with both hands to try to tame them before they became a tangled mess. "The cleanup won't take 10 minutes. Not with me, the Pages, the Myers, and Rick helping. Besides, when have your guests ever left you a big mess to clean up?" "Never," Corrie admitted with a shrug. Shelley gave her a nudge. "Come on. It's been forever since you've been..."